Chapter 3 Lost in the Ghostlands. In the equation that is life on Earth, your future grows shorter each year, and your past elongates, fills, swells. Even a bad past can feel safer than the present because at least past horrors are known. It shimmers in a warm, if slightly unreal glow. We can't airbrush the present. Anneli Rufus. Having spent the better part of my life trying either to relive the past or experience the future before it arrives, I have come to believe that in between these two experiences is peace. Author unknown. Have you ever gotten lost in wishful thinking? In the fog of a fantasy future where images tantalize you but refuse to hold still and manifest into reality? Any land can be rendered a ghostland if you linger there too long. In a ghostland, no emotional growth or healing occurs. You freeze time instead of moving through this landscape and into the next, because it's only your mind, not your true emotional experience, which is keeping you here. The color, texture, and reality of the past place are drained. All is translucent and without substance, including you, because you're in a ghostly place. You wander through it, confused, lost, and outside of time, until you snap out of it and let yourself feel your difficult emotions. Ghostlands of the past. When the answer to the question, when are you, is back in the past again, you have an opportunity to learn the lessons of the land. The strong emotions you feel in this traumatic locale inspire you to do the work of learning and growth, painful through your transformations may be. If you stay and look around, you'll eventually discover the wisdom that will help you escape the next time you end up here. But a ghostland is not a place of strong, true emotions. It's a place of obsession where you artificially revive old emotions and relive something that is already past. Is there something in your past you fixate on even though there's nothing to be gained from your constantly thinking and talking about it? Is there an event or relationship you continually ruminate about? Do you find that your attraction to your ex-partner is long gone, but your anger about how he should have done this or you should have done that keeps flaring up as you replay in your mind the scenes of your relationship? The regrets of loss are transformative, and you'll feel them when you're in the valley of loss. But the regrets and ghostlands of the past are like land itself without substance. You don't feel genuine remorse. There is no real pain to inspire growth. Instead, you simply think and think and think about what you could have done differently and cause yourself to manufacture emotions as a result of your obsession. You conjure up resentments that are ghosts of old hurts to keep you company. 3 ghosts, to be exact, who insist on following around. Their names are Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda. I'm sure you met them in their ghostly goblin forms, not quite real, not yet really easily dismissed. No new nugget of information is going to reveal itself if you keep turning over the events of the past in the hopes of mining some gem. Instead, Whatever thoughts you form about the experience will be ethereal and ghost-like, floating about instead of becoming rooted in you as wisdom. For example, in a ghostland of the past, you might have the insight, I don't have to listen to people who want to drag me back into cynicism. These are wise words, but in a ghostland they remain mere words without form. For them to have the potential to help you stop re-traumatizing yourself, they have to have substance for you. They have to become a part of your awareness, embedded in your heart and not just your head. This can only happen if you allow yourself to feel your true emotions, get back into a genuine landscape on the map, and do the work you need to do. Learning the lesson requires that you begin living it. Nostalgia and romanticism. Another way you can end up in a ghostland of the past is through romanticism. Giving into nostalgia now and again is healthy. It rekindles feelings of happiness. And when you're in a place of challenge, it's good to take yourself on a mini vacation to the lovely lands you visited. Nostalgia fills you with joy and enthusiasm that becomes a part of your journey if you let it. Close your eyes and think about one of the favorite memories for a few moments. Relive it. Do you feel the magic filling you to the present? Nostalgia gets you thinking about how you can make yourself happier right now in the future. At least that is its purpose. It's like when the ghost of Christmas past took Scrooge by the hand and showed him the scenes from his childhood. Grouchy old Scrooge's demeanor completely changed as he delighted in the sight of his beloved sister alive and young again. But then he was reminded of his nephew, whose kind overtures he had rebuffed in the present day. You can visit the happy scenes of the past and relish the wonderful emotions your nostalgia recreates in you, but you can't live there. Romanticism happens when you practice selective memory and forget the suffering, the shadow that always accompanies the light. You stop thinking about how you can bring happiness into your life today and tomorrow and instead dwell in a place viewed through rose-colored glasses. The good old days were never really as good as you'd like to think they were. Romanticism can become addictive. In Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the orphan wizard discovers an enchanted mirror where he can see what he most desires. His parents alive, smiling and waving at him. Professor Dumbledore has to rescue Harry from this dangerous magical object. He explains that many a wizard has gotten lost for years, gazing at what he desired. Time stops when you obsess and you wonder that ghostland of romanticism. Living in the past doesn't give you any emotional nourishment or sense of purpose in the present. The more you dwell there, the more time gets away from you and you feel lost and not in control. Your life essence slowly seeps away from your core until you become a ghost yourself. So while it takes courage to surrender to the present, it's the only way to begin creating a better future. The magic is restored when you ask, does this have does this issue have true substance today? Ghostlands of the future. When you fixate on times to come, you can find yourself in a seductive ghostland that beckons with both large promise and poor performance. As they say in 12-step programs, remember, the future isn't solid. Often clients tell me that they have a reading from a psychic who saw something in their future that upsets them, and they want to know if they have the power to change the path they're on. Of course they do. Intuition and present insights about what takes place should empower people, not make them afraid. I believe the future can be changed even by the very fact that we can observe its potentials and possibilities. Back when I was drinking, another psychic told me that I would experience years and years of unhappiness and would never get married. Well, I got sober the following year, and I have a very happy marriage. Yet, had I stayed in the landscape I was in and not made any changes in my life, her prediction might very well have come true. Even without predictions from the seer, people can talk themselves into feeling fear, anger, and sadness when they think something awful will happen to them. To avoid these feelings, they try to convince themselves that the future only holds good news for them, and that everything challenging they come across they'll be able to handle because they've got it all figured out. You might script a whole story about how your life will unfold because of this or that, yet you can't control the future. You can change your now, where that future is seated. When you buy into the illusion that you can control it, you end up in a ghost land. Contemplating potential problems and allowing yourself to feel how awful they would be could be a helpful exercise if you were to do it consciously and follow up by thoughtfully considering your next move and taking action. The challenge in doing so is to avoid working yourself into a state of distress, which puts you into a difficult landscape. Say that of the immovable mountain which stands in your way or the valley of loss, but at least there's a chance you'll learn something there. In a ghost land, no learning emotion or action takes place. You simply become overwhelmed with pessimistic thoughts and trying to figure out how to avoid pain, or you're fixating on arriving at the magical destination where there are no problems to be solved. The mind can foolishly convince itself that the more information it has, the easier it will be to skirt any unpleasantness or danger that lies ahead. It can also very efficiently find all the reasons why something will never work. You decide there's no point in trying to change anything, and get a certain comfort from the belief that you don't have to risk suffering. After thinking about all the many ways you might avoid disaster, you decide to do nothing and simply hope that nothing changes. Then you wander the ghostlands until life changes all on its own and you're sent to a painful emotional landscape after all. At this time in our planet's evolving story, it's particularly important to recognize that stability and peace must come from within, since so much that is changing in the world at large is affecting us as individuals. It's all part of the evolution we're experiencing. Mindfully bringing yourself back into the awareness allows you to enter a new landscape and leave behind the one with no substance. Whenever you're in the ghostlands, you're lost, but you can always find the treasure of yourself in present time. If you were to ask the spirit of the ghostland what gift can be found here, his answer would be simple. There is one question you must ask yourself in order to experience an abracadabra, Shazam moment. Does this condition I'm thinking of have true substance? If you see no evidence that gives form to your thoughts here and now in this moment, then you must seek your escape. Escaping and avoiding the ghostlands. The way out of the ghostlands is to walk between two pillars, surrendered acceptance and creative action. You accept that you're not the only map maker and that there are parameters to any enchanted map, and you act as the co-creator of your life, working with spirit. You accept that the past is gone, and you aren't the sole force in charge of your future, and you take responsibility for making changes rather than waiting for someone to rescue you. By walking through these two pillars, you put yourself back into where you're meant to be in time. You'll no longer spend countless hours wondering whether you'll win the heart of the man you want. Instead, you'll surrender to what is true now. You'll no longer wait until your perfect life arrives according to your specifications. Rather, you'll live your best life now. You'll leave your resentments behind after seeing your part in keeping them alive now. It's possible to avoid the ghostlands if you're mindful of how to contemplate the past and future in healthy ways. If you'd like to experience nostalgia, enjoy the memories for a bit, but then turn yourself to the present. Are you creating new, even better memories now? If not, how can you do so? The best way to work with the future is to visualize your life filled with abundance, security, love, and all the good things you long for, and then take action in the present. Act as if the future you're envisioning is already here, as if this scene is true. Claim your highest good now, not later on. Imagine yourself in a state of peace and calm, of joy or excitement. By exercising the power of your imagination, you can actually train your brain to become used to feeling good, which, if you're used to feeling bad, can seem like a miraculous change. You get to enjoy basking in positive emotions that your fantasies generate, and you become inspired to make the future happier today. The primary environment you inhabit is that of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, and you're really experiencing it now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Personally, I love to work with dream boards and pictures and enjoy all that I'm aiming to attain for myself as if it were current reality. It's inspiring and energizing and makes me feel excited and hopeful, and it actually produces results. The more you claim your intentions now, the truer it becomes in your outer world. My clients often ask me, what is my purpose? How do I serve? And what will really make me happy? When you imagine your future and what your own purpose and goals might be, you'll get in touch with all the many emotions you would experience if that future were true today. You may realize that you should alter your goal given that you would love to have a particular career or interest, or for instance, but not enough to have to move to another part of the country or give up something valuable in your current circumstances to pursue that particular dream. in the future and imagine the process of achieving your goal. This is important since it's rare to see the things you want accompanied by the hard work or sacrifices that go along with them. Do you want to be an author or do you want to actually put pen to paper and write a book? Do you want to be a healer if it involves a long apprenticeship? Regardless of the goal, you must create the emotional reality of those future circumstances within yourself in order for the external world to begin reflecting your new inner reality. Then you must be open to the way the dreams manifest. Dreams can become obsessions when you start to overlook all the other possibilities before you because you're attracted to what you're envisioning. You may think you planted star flowers in your field of dreams, but how will you feel it if the seedlings turn into sunflowers instead? To nurture those flowers, you may have to let your original dream die, but what replaces it may yield something far more marvelous than you could have imagined. Affirm, I am living my best life now, allowing the divine plan for me to unfold perfectly, and open to what Spirit brings. If you spend too much time on a fantasy of the future, two things are likely to happen. One, you get caught running between a ghostland of the future that eludes you and a landscape of suffering caused by your attachment to a particular outcome. And two, you won't attend to what you can do today to make the future happen. As an inspiring recording artist, I was desperate to get that big record deal that would rescue me from obscurity and bring me in to a sense of value and importance, or so I imagined, and I felt frustrated and essential when it didn't happen for me in the time frame I hoped I wanted to. In retrospect, I could have stopped worrying about how I was going to land the deal and instead focus on improving my guitar playing skills and work even more on my craft. While I was obsessed with getting the deal, I wasn't able to be fully present in the now, and the painful truth was obvious. However, I couldn't reconcile my fantasy with what was really going on. I got everything I wanted eventually, right down to the name of the record label I placed on my dream board, but only after I had given up all the relentless ambition and surrendered to the path as it was revealed a day at a time. In a reading, I might tell you that I see you on the stage someday, teaching something of value to others. But that's not going to be a reality if you sit around dreaming of a wonderful that will feel and do nothing practical to make it happen. Wishful thinking blinds you to what opportunities are available to you today. Envision the future, yes, but set it in motion to the present. Be patient and always remain in a state of detachment, letting the proverbial arrow fly through the air of its own accord. You're not the wind that carries it there, but you must be the one to shoot it. Your dream may also have some surprising characteristics that you weren't considering. You might need to do research on what it would be like to experience the circumstances you're trying to bring about. The following exercise will help you get clarity on how to leave the ghostland of wishful thinking and make your time traveling to the future more effective. Exercise. Envisioning the future. As you immerse yourself in envisioning your future, let go of the fantasy you've created for yourself for now. Take out your journal and ask yourself these questions to find out where you are in relation to where you want to be. This is a fact finding exercise, not one that should be approached in a judgmental way. Always approach self discovery with compassion. What does my heart tell me is my purpose? Do I know, or am I still discovering the answer? What have I come to know about this so far? Does it feel as if Spirit has plans for me that I'm turning a blind eye to? How can I describe this feeling? How do I know? Am I able to bring a fulfilling vision of the future into the now by beginning down the path toward it? Do I resist this journey because it feels more comfortable to remain in wishful thinking? Am I afraid of achieving this goal and living this life I envision? Is fear holding me back in any way? If so, what is my fear? Should I make peace with this fear so that it subsides? Or should I explore it further? What feels right? Do I need to research what this experience would be like rather than guessing at it? How might I begin researching it? Am I fixated on the future and squinting to see the details rather than starting the wheel in motion today? What could I do today to begin bringing this vision into reality? Am I feeling unsure of what to do? Do I need to meditate, surrender to Spirit, and let the next step on the path reveal itself? When obsessing about the ideal future causes you to miss your opportunities today, you have to be patient and wait for them to come around again. Otherwise, you end up struggling to make it happen because you didn't work with divine timing. Spirit put the boat in the oars at the dock, but you didn't get around to walking over to it because you were too busy daydreaming about how great it would be once you'd already rowed downstream to the golden palace of wealth, the resting tree, easy street, or another landscape you long to visit. Now the sun has set, the waters are choppy, and you'll have to wait.